Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines. The longest government shutdown in US history may be nearing its end. A Senate compromise to restore federal funding has cleared an initial hurdle, offering relief to millions affected since October. The deal, backed by both parties, would fund agencies through January and set up a December vote on health insurance subsidies. Earlier, the US Senate on Monday advanced a bill aimed at reopening the federal government
and ending the 40-day shutdown that has sidelined workers, delayed food aid, and disrupted air travel. The House passed measure, which passed a procedural vote 60-40, the minimum needed to overcome a filibuster, will be amended to fund the government through January 30th and include 3 full-year appropriations bills. It now returns to the House before heading to President Donald Trump for signature.
President Donald Trump has ordered air traffic controllers to return to work immediately as US flight cancellations soar. The demand comes during the 41-day government shutdown that has left thousands of controllers unpaid and airports short-staffed. Airlines cancelled over 1,700 flights on Monday, with disruptions expected to worsen as the FAA mandates further flight cuts this week.
A federal appeals court has upheld a judge's order directing President Donald Trump's administration to fully fund food aid benefits for 42 million low-income Americans during the ongoing U.S. government shutdown. The First U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Boston refused to block a Rhode Island judge's ruling, which requires the U.S. Department of Agriculture to use $4 billion reserved for other purposes to ensure full SNAP food assistance payments this month.
At least 8 people were killed and 20 injured in a car explosion near Delhi's historic Red Fort Monday evening. The blast occurred in a crowded area, prompting high security alerts in Mumbai and Uttar Pradesh. Emergency services cordoned off the scene as investigators work to determine the cause of the explosion. A Paris court has granted former French President Nicolas Sarkozy early release from prison, less than 3 weeks after he began a 5-year sentence over alleged campaign funding from Libya. Sarkozy was freed pending appeal under judicial supervision. He has denied any wrongdoing and called the case politically motivated. BBC News says it has received a legal threat from US President Donald Trump over an edited documentary aired before the election. The Panorama episode cut and rearranged parts of a Trump speech, giving what the BBC now admits was a misleading impression. Earlier, BBC's Director General and Head of News resigned after mounting criticism of bias and editorial failings at the broadcaster, and prompted the broadcaster's chair, Samaa, to issue an apology. US pharmaceutical giant Pfizer has clinched a $10 billion deal to acquire obesity drug developer Metsera, ending a heated bidding war with Danish rival Novo Nordisk. Metsera accepted Pfizer's improved offer late Friday, citing US antitrust risks in Novo's competing bid, which the company had earlier called superior. Novo Nordisk announced on Saturday that it would withdraw from the race. South Korean prosecutors have indicted former President Yoon Suk-yeol on serious charges of aiding the enemy and abuse of power. He's accused of orchestrating drone flights over North Korea to justify declaring martial law and undermining civilian rule. The indictment follows a special investigation into events from last December, when Yoon allegedly sought to provoke North Korea to create a pretext for emergency military control.
Japan has lodged a formal complaint with China over what it called extremely inappropriate remarks made by a Chinese diplomat about Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi, comments the United States described as threatening. The incident stems from a post by China's Consul General in Osaka, who responded to Takaichi's remarks in Parliament suggesting that a Chinese attack on Taiwan could force Japan to take military action in self-defense.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has met with Sberbank CEO German Gref, discussing the bank's outlook and performance. Gref said Russia's largest lender expects its 2025 profits to grow by around 6%, following a record profit of $18.1 billion in 2024.
Ukraine's Anti-Corruption Bureau has launched a major operation targeting corruption in the country's energy sector. Officials say the probe has uncovered a high-level criminal organization backed by 1,000 hours of audio recordings collected over 15 months of investigation.
The Kremlin says it wants the Ukraine war to end soon, but claims peace efforts are stalled. Spokesman Dmitry Peskov said Russia prefers diplomacy, but blames Ukraine for the deadlock. His remarks followed President Trump's comments that the war could end soon. Russia now controls about 19% of Ukrainian territory as fighting continues.
Indian police detained dozens of protesters Monday at India Gate in New Delhi during a rare demonstration calling for measures against the city's recurring air pollution crisis. Protesters of all ages held banners reading, "Breathing is killing us," and chanted slogans like, "Our right clear air," before being taken away by authorities. Delhi's Air Quality Index on Monday registered 345, classified as very poor, highlighting the city's ongoing struggle with toxic winter smog.
That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.